Hi, my name is Lori Alexander from The Transformed Wife, and I want to talk about the link between working mothers and depression. There's a book that I read a while ago called Home by Choice. It's very good. I recommend it to any of you who are interested. And she mentioned a lot of studies that have proved that mothers who are working full time away from um, their children grow up to be more emotionally unstable and insecure. And in our mentoring of women, and Ken mentoring husbands of wives who are in deep depression, struggling, or just, he calls it BPD, and just a lot of emotional difficulties. All of them have come from either broken homes or mothers who didn't work, who worked full time and they didn't bond to their mothers. That bonding of a mother to a child is so, so important. They need God. If I watch my daughters with their and daughter-in-law with their little babies, they just want to, they're like little monkeys on their mothers. They just want to be with them all the time. And their mothers do not want to leave those babies. Even if they go away for a night for a getaway or something, they just hate leaving their babies. We're meant to be with our babies. And Dr. James Dobson on Focus on the Family wrote about that many years ago when his children were young, how important that bonding between mother and baby is, full-time bonding in order to create mentally healthy children. There's an article that was just pointed out to me in the chat room today, written by a woman who wrote a book called Being There, Why Prioritizing Motherhood in the First 3 Years Matters by Erica Commissar. And there was a paragraph in the article. She had an interview on Good Morning America, and I'm just going to read it real quickly to you. Commissar said that the book is a product of observations that she made during her 27 years working in a private practice as a parenting coach and psychoanalysis, but also draws on research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. To support her ideas, Commissar states that the increase of antidepressant use in the U.S. by 400% over the last two decades has linked to childhood development. So the importance of mothers being home with their children cannot be overstated. It affects them for their entire life. My mom was home full time with my two sisters and I, and none of us have ever suffered from depression, ever, And I think that's why she bonded with us. And my four children, they don't struggle with depression. They're secure, confident adults. And I see these women, the majority of women I mentor who struggle with depression or emotional instability weren't bonded to their mothers. And this is going to be catastrophic, and we're already seeing it in our culture, that it's catastrophe. And that's why God tells older women to teach younger women to love their children and be keepers at home so they don't blaspheme the word of God. Your children need you home, full-time mothers. And if you don't think you can do it, you have to know that with God, nothing is impossible. If He wants you home, He'll find a way for you to get home, but you need to start trusting Him, living simply, living within your husband's income. If you're a widow or a single mother, ask the Lord for wisdom in how to be able to come home. But you need to be the ones home raising your children. It's just vital for their entire adult health and emotional health and stability and security. And then another thing with James Dobson is as children grew older, during the junior high years, he would say, oh no, now mothers need to be home full time. This is the most important years. And then through high school, then even when his children in high school, well, no, mothers need to be home. We need to be there protecting them, guiding them, seeing what's coming in the home. We need to be there to talk to them, to retrain bad thinking that they have, to always point them to Christ and His Word and to wisdom. Even in high school, I was reading the Bible to my children while they were eating breakfast for school in the morning, just always guiding them, pointing them to Christ. I wasn't too busy off in a job to teach them, and it takes a full-time mommy to discipline, train, and teach their children, plus being a helpmeet to your husband, plus keeping your home clean and tidy. So it's just imperative, women, and I don't mind people calling me judgmental and condemning, because I'm not condemning anyone. Only God can condemn. And I have no desire to condemn anyone. And if you call that judging, so be it. I'm just doing what God has called me to teach in His Word to young women. And I'm passionate about this because I've just seen it too much, the difference between full-time mommies and working mothers, and what it does to the children. At a school that I substitute just for a really short time when my youngest was in junior high, it was a huge mistake on my part. I would just work a couple hours a day, couple hours a week. I mean, a couple days a week. It was really nothing. I'm so glad I never got a full-time job there, which I was trying to do, but I had a brain tumor and God stopped that in the tracks, thankfully. But one of the teachers told me there that she could tell the students who had full-time mothers and those who don't, because the ones that had full-time mothers were just so much secure, even-keeled, and joyful. So be home mothers, obey God, and if your husband doesn't want you to, pray. Give it to the Lord. Ask Him to convict and change your husband's mind, because He alone is able. We can trust Him to accomplish what He wants in our lives if we trust Him. Just obey Him, do what He's asked you to do, and rest in Him. Bye-bye.